Imagine falling from a height of 3,000 meters, 9,842.5 feet, in the middle of the Amazon jungle and surviving. For many, this seems impossible, but for Juliane Koepcke, this was reality. On a flight that was supposed to be peaceful, young Juliane found herself at the center of one of the greatest aviation disasters in history. But what happened next was even more surprising. That's what you'll see in this video. But first, please subscribe to the channel. It's free, and your subscription is extremely important for the channel to keep producing videos. Juliane Koepcke was born in Lima, Peru, on October 10, 1954. Daughter of German parents, Maria Koepcke, a renowned ornithologist, and Hans Wilhelm Koepcke, a famous zoologist, Juliane grew up in an environment closely tied to science and nature. From an early age, she had an unusual upbringing, divided between Lima and the Amazon rainforest, where her parents conducted research. Her childhood was marked by a strong connection to wildlife, which would later help her survive in extreme circumstances. Juliane spent part of her childhood at the biological research center her parents founded in the middle of the Amazon rainforest, called Panguana. There, she learned about plants, animals, and the dangers of the jungle, knowledge that would be crucial to her survival after the accident. Even as a young girl, she was familiar with Amazonian fauna and flora and knew how to navigate the jungle, understand the signs of nature, and act cautiously in a hostile environment. On December 24, 1971, Juliane and her mother boarded LANSA Flight 508, a small Peruvian airline with a poor safety record. They were traveling from Lima to Pucallpa to spend Christmas with her father, Hans Wilhelm Koepcke, who was already at the research station. Originally, they were supposed to take an earlier flight, but due to Juliane's school commitments, they ended up booking a later flight that day. It was a fateful choice. During the flight, the aircraft encountered a severe storm over the Amazon. The plane was struck by lightning and began to disintegrate in midair. Juliane, still strapped to her seat, was thrown from the aircraft and fell from a height of about 3,000 meters, 10,000 feet. Miraculously, the dense forest vegetation absorbed part of the impact, allowing her to survive the fall. However, all other passengers, including her mother, died. After the crash, Juliane woke up alone, injured, and still strapped to her seat. She suffered a broken collarbone, deep cuts, injuries to her leg, and a swollen eye. Despite the trauma and pain, she managed to free herself and used her knowledge of the jungle to survive. Juliane knew that the best way to find civilization was to follow a watercourse, as streams and rivers generally lead to inhabited areas. She found a nearby stream and followed it. Over the next 11 days, she walked through the dense jungle, drinking water from the stream and feeding on whatever she could find. Her physical condition deteriorated, with infections and larvae developing in her wounds, but she kept walking. On the 11th day, Juliane finally came across a woodcutter's hut, where she was discovered by local natives. They treated her injuries and took her to a camp, from where she was transported by boat to the city of Pucallpa. There, she was reunited with her father and later helped rescue teams locate the wreckage of the plane and the bodies of the other passengers. After the accident, Juliane returned to Germany and, despite the trauma, decided to follow in her parents' footsteps and become a biologist. She studied biology at the University of Kiel in Germany and later specialized in zoology, focusing on South American mammals. Juliane eventually returned to Peru, where she continued her parents' work in the Amazon. She wrote a book called Als ich vom Himmel fiel, translated as When I Fell from the Sky, in which she details her incredible survival story. Werner Herzog's documentary Wings of Hope also helped immortalize her story. Juliane Koepcke, now Juliane Diller, still frequently visits Peru and plays an active role in preserving the Amazon rainforest. Her extraordinary survival story is a symbol of resilience and courage in the face of extreme adversity. And you? Have you ever experienced turbulence while flying? Do you know someone who has? Leave your answer in the comments. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and see you next time.
Eyes wide open, terror in the sky. I can see the earth in pixelated die. Heartbeat racing faster than light, tumbling down from dizzying height. Air is thin, no time to explain. Clouds whip past the rush of insane. Silence screams and no one hears, plummeting through my sea of fears. Free fall symphony, crash course in gravity. Clouds whip past the rush of insane. Silence screams and no one hears, plummeting through my sea of fears. Free fall symphony. Flashes of life in technicolor screens, lost in the chaos of broken dreams. Every second feels like eternity, falling fast in tragic certainty. Can't rewind or pause this show. Flight gets ripped an all-time low. Moments until I hit the crescendo. In free fall, a dramatic innuendo. Free